Dys Dyvas podcast starts now. Welcome to the latest episode of the Dys Dyvas podcast, where two friends with dysautonomia decided to ditch their salt and vinegar chips for a support group that's the perfect blend of sass and self-care. Join us for some serious belly laughs and a healthy dose of sarcasm as we navigate the ups and downs of chronic illness together. Today's episode, Dys is Disabled. The Dys Divas talk about accepting change and dealing with their new normal in a positive light. And now, the Divas.
Hey,
Hola, chica. How are you?
hola. Hey, I'm good. How about you?
Doing good. Doing good. I'm excited about this episode.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Tennessee. He's trying to make us dizzy.
What is,
He keeps switching us around. Okay, there we go.
how many times have we fired him? Yet he's still here.
I know. Can you technically fire someone who doesn't get paid?
I don't know. Okie dokie. So, this is disabled. I'm still trying to find my new normal. You're a little more experienced, so you want to start this conversation off?
Sure. I'm just thinking, I'm like, wow, I've been dealing with this for a long time.
You have.
Too long. Yeah, this is disabled. It's kind of a tough thing. I mean, I have adapted to many changes. I guess you have to roll with the punches because obviously, once you have a diagnosis, whether it's for dysautonomia, lupus, polymyositis, Raynaud's, any other autoimmune like EDS, there's just the list goes on and on. It's endless. As your body goes through these changes, you have to go through the changes too. You have to learn to roll with the punches. Because today I might get up and feel fantastic, and that's great. If I do, wonderful. I appreciate it. It's a gold star day, and we move forward with caution throughout the day, just to make sure we don't, push any red buttons and have a problem. But not every day is going to be a gold star day, unfortunately. So you have to be prepared for that. Think about things like the weather. Like I'm in Central Florida, so it's hot all the time, pretty much. So I have to make sure I'm hydrated. That goes for anybody who has dysautonomia anywhere in the country, but if you're in Central Florida, more so than the average person, or anywhere where it's really, really hot and humid. So I have to think about hydration. I have to think about, when I get up in the morning, I have a routine. I check my blood pressure, see where things are there. If everything's good, we move forward. If my blood pressure is a little off, then we go through the routine of which medication do I need to take. Do I need to take my blood pressure medicine? Do I need to take lorazepam? Do I need to take a hyoscyamine? What is my cocktail of the day essentially, so that my day can move in a semi-normal function, if that makes sense. So we go through that. Then you get up, shower, get dressed, the whole 9 yards, and then just take it from there. And sometimes I'll have a day where I feel kind of iffy in the morning, but if I make myself get up and go out, it gets better. Sometimes it
So,
doesn't.
distraction works for you?
Yeah, distraction works, but it depends on what it is that's causing the problem. I mean, obviously, if my blood pressure's like, 189 over 115 and I'm having trouble breathing, distraction might not be as good until I can start breathing again. But if it's something where I feel like something's coming on, if I can distract myself, sometimes I can kick it. So it's a matter of finding what works for you
Mhm.
to try and calm yourself down if you feel an episode coming on. Whether it's, like meditation or talking to a friend on the phone or just watching a TV show and relaxing or doing whatever you can. I mean, if you're in public, go find a quiet place. I've I've actually locked myself in a bathroom at Disney or just to have a little peace, because I needed it. And there was a long line, but there were plenty of other bathrooms, and that is not the best place to be. But sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Right.
Have you had those episodes in public where you thought you were going to be okay, and all of a sudden the table turned on you?
Yeah, that last year I did, but I'm pretty much I'm pretty still housebound, so I can't be around crowds right now. I'm finding it very difficult to be in cars. Because I tend to react more environmental. That's usually what brings me to the anaphylaxis, really bad, scary mast cell shit. Um, but like you, every day is kind of like a new adjustment, and every day is still so different for me. So I've yet to establish a pattern. Like I feel like this is my year to kind of figure out how to manage my symptoms. But right now, I'm finding what I used to be able to do. I'm getting really frustrated because I can't do it anymore, and I'm trying to find that balance, which is really tough for me. I'm not gonna lie, finding the balance for someone who is, it's tough. You know,
Yeah, it is
it's real
tough.
tough.
We used to do so much beforehand. I mean, we'd always be on the go, whether it's the movies or going to Disney Springs or going to a theme park or doing whatever. We were always on the go, and now I have to think about these things. Someone says, "Hey, you want to go here and you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Well, yes, but I have to see how I feel that day. Depends on the temperature. Can I get in where it's air conditioned?" I mean, it's not that these things are impossible. They're not impossible. They just have to be made possible for someone like us. So
Right.
we have to take all that into consideration before we do something, so that we can enjoy the day. And 9 times out of 10, once you get involved with your friends or your activity that you're doing, you're forgetting about what's going on with you, which is a wonderful distraction. And
Hmm.
it's just a blessing to be able to interact with people and have a quote unquote normal day for a little bit. I mean, you might
Right.
pay for it tomorrow, but that's a possibility. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Everyone's different, but it's a matter of finding the recipe that works for you.
Hmm.
It's not a prison sentence. It's a matter of just figuring out what you need to do to make accommodations so that you can do things. Instead of maybe doing something for 4 hours, do it for two, and
Right.
take some breaks in between. Or instead of taking a walk, in the middle of the day when it's god awful hot, do it in the morning or do it late at night, or do something. Mix it up, do it when you can do it on your terms. Don't do it on anybody else's terms, only on yours. And if you feel like you're going to disappoint someone, uh, explain ahead of time, hey, this might not be a great day for me, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway.
Hmm.
If they understand, great. If they don't, that's on them. It's really not on you. So don't take the guilt onto yourself just because you tried and you couldn't do it.
Are your friends more understanding, and they kind of let it go, or what are your thoughts about that?
For the most part, I think initially though, when this whole thing came on, um, there were some issues because we were always on the go, and
Mhm.
our friends always knew us for being on the go. Whether it's movies, to dinner, to do whatever.
Right.
Um, and then when we had to cancel, it was kind of like, well, if you didn't want to go, you could just say so. And I'm like, like me, why would I not want to go? There's got to be a legitimate reason why we would not want to go at the last minute. So there was a little rough patch at the beginning, shall we say, but I do
Hmm.
think things have smoothed out. And plus, we're not as out there as we used to be to do things and readily available like we used to be because people have now learned what my new normal is.
Hmm.
And most of the
What do
time,
you think? What do you think was the biggest factor? Um, the biggest factor for you to finally say, "All right, this is my new normal. This is how it's going to be," or do you think it was just giving yourself the grace and giving yourself the time and having more patience with your body? Like, what do you think it was? Made you accept it more?
um, because I'm very stubborn and I was not willing to
No,
accept it,
really?
I learned the hard way that I did need to accept it.
Mhm.
So some of us do need to go to the School of Hard Knocks to get the reality check, which I did. And since then, I have taken a few steps back and decided that I need to chill out a little bit.
Mhm. Do you follow the spoon theory? Like, do you find that you really go through that, or is it kind of hard to understand?
No, I can go through the spoon theory. It's hard to explain to people, though sometimes that's a hard concept for some people to understand.
Yeah,
But it's a wonderful way
exactly.
to try and explain it. But they're like, "What are you talking about spoons? And what do spoons have to do with your day?"
It's
And
very confusing.
yeah, so it's just like I look at it sometimes as if I've got so many points in the bank or dollars in the bank. And
Right.
every time you do something, because if you got $50 in the bank and you get up, well, there's a $10 withdrawal right there. You get a shower, another five. Got to eat, another five. Got to go drive. There's another 10. Okay, went to the pharmacy. There's $10. So, if you look at it that way, I think it's a little easier for people to understand that, hey, at the end of the day, your account's in the negative. And
Now, do you have to
sometimes
rest the next day though, to like kind of build yourself up again, the strength up, or you crash at the end of the week?
for me, if I've had a day where I'm overdrawn or out of spoons, typically the next day I have to rest up.
Yeah.
Like if we're gonna do something, I try to plan it so if we're gonna do something today, then tomorrow I need some time to rest. And then if we're gonna do something the next day, I need it's like on a day, off a day, on a day, off a day kind of thing, like cruising, port day, sea day, port day, sea day. You need some sea days to get your body back on track, and also hydration. Because if you're prone to infections like I am, um, you need more hydration than I normally would. And I totally goofed myself up by not getting enough hydration the past couple weeks
Hmm.
because I had an infection. So hydration is so important, but check with your doctor before you do it. Most people who have POTS, it's a friendly thing to do. It's just saline. Um, Sometimes insurance covers it, sometimes they don't, but there's local IV lounges that you can just walk into and say, hey, I want a bag of saline. They'll give it to you. Prices vary, but it's under $100 usually.
Not here.
Really? Just for saline?
No, it's like 350. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
it's
doesn't
it's
for
yeah,
how
it's
many? That doesn't
crazy.
make sense. Because typically they'll have these, and they're all over the country in different places, but they'll want to sell you a bag of electrolytes plus, vitamin E or plus all this special, like a banana bag. They want to sell you like a fancy cocktail. But if
Hmm.
it's just the saline, I mean, come on, that stuff costs like $5 a bag for
Yeah.
them. So for me, it's like $50 and then $35, but it's worth it.
Yeah, according to my doctors, they come from the school of we don't believe in hydration, which really pisses me off because it's a state of constant dehydration. The saline will help. The electrolytes
Yes.
do help.
Yeah, because drinking, I could drink like 10 bottles of water and I don't get the same effect as if I get an IV hydration.
Right.
I'm still getting hydrated, but it's not affecting me. It's not going through my system the same way.
Right. With my SIBO, with being so nauseous as I've been, I can't hydrate. And then with the heat, it's
Ugh,
almost like a double whammy because I can't, the heat and humidity is too much for me. And I love being outside. Like I love being in the sun. I love being, at the pool. And it's like, whew, it's hard. It's
yeah,
hard.
I love being at the beach, and I'm like, that's not gonna happen. But I'll
Yeah.
still find a way to be beachside, whether it's at a resort or, where you can get a balcony. So you can just sit on the balcony and be near the air conditioning, so you can step in and out, or you can just open the window and just let that sea air come in and invigorate you. And I need some vitamin C. But I do miss that. I miss in cruising. Oh my god, I miss being on a cruise ship so bad. But I'm working on that. That's our goal.
Mhm. That is
There's,
our goal.
there's nothing like being out at sea with all that beautiful energy and the sea air. It's just there's nothing to be allergic to because you're out in the middle of nowhere, so you're not going to be sneezing and wheezing. And it's so magical. It really is. It's just and it's relaxing because you're forced to relax. Because you're not going to
Hmm.
pay an exorbitant amount for Wi-Fi. At least I'm not going to. So I'm not distracted by my phone. I'm forced to be in the moment because I'm being cheap.
Amen. All right. Awesome. Well, this was a good one. Or
Yes, absolutely. Well, I will say that We are available to watch on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you can listen to us on Spotify. So if you would, we would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. If you have any questions, as always, please reach out to us at Dys Dyvas, DYS, at gmail.com. We'll be happy to answer your questions online or private, whichever you prefer. And we will look forward to seeing you on our next podcast episode. So thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you all. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
everyone. Namaste.
Bye.